He kōna ipurangi tēnei nā te reo irirangi o Aotearoa.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.
Tēnā koutou katoa, welcome to In Case You Missed It. Ko tāne tōku ingoa, time to tahuna te ahi with a look at what's been happening here in Aotearoa and overseas. This week, climate activist Greta Thunberg was fined in a Swedish court for disobeying police during a protest at an oil facility. She admitted the charge but said the fight against the fossil fuel industry was a form of self-defense due to the threat of climate change.
Right now we don't have any laws that holds the carbon in the ground. We don't have any laws that long-term protect us against the self-destructing greed that we have let in full control over the world.
Also this week, the heat wave continued in Europe with fires breaking out in Greece, Italy and Spain. On the Greek island of Rhodes, almost 20,000 people needed to be evacuated.
It was the biggest operation of its kind ever conducted in Greece.
In Florida, it looks like the hottest sea temperature ever has been set, with a National Weather Service buoy on the tip of Florida recording 38.4 degrees. That's about the same temperature as a hot tub.
The corals are not happy with this level of hot water. They are bleaching. A lot of them are dying, I've heard too. 10 years from now, this will be seen as a relatively quiet summer. Certainly a relatively cool summer.
In more positive news, Wellingtonians were treated to a rare sight this week with a southern right whale swimming in Wellington Harbour, leaving onlookers amazed as it swam through the water.
They're rare these days. By about 1840, they were reduced to just a handful of animals. By 2009, they'd rebounded to about 2,000 animals.
The minute the whale was spotted, locals immediately wondered if it was matariki, another southern right whale that visited the capital in 2018. However, a local expert believes this is a younger one. Locals were asked to give the whale a wide berth and not to approach it by boat, but to just enjoy watching the beautiful creature from afar. Great news for local rap artist Mellow Downs, who's been nominated for a Rolling Stone Global Award along with a number of other artists from Aotearoa. Congratulations to all the nominees. On the subject of rap and rappers though, do you know where rap started? Check this out. Rap. Where did it all begin? The earliest example of rap is the griot from Africa, where the village storytellers told stories to the beat of handmade instruments. When the African slave trade began in 1619, thousands of African people were captured against their will, transported to America and forced into slavery. To cope with the trauma, they would sing of their lost homes and families, telling their stories through song and chant. Through the centuries, African music influenced popular culture with jazz, blues, ragtime, gospel, soul, rock and roll, funk, and hip-hop. By the 1970s, New York block parties held outdoors with DJs and sound systems were popular in the hip-hop community. Enter DJ Kool Herc. Originally from Jamaica, Herc would play two turntables by hand and created a whole new sound that he would rap over. DJ Grandmaster Flash saw Herc perform and added new sounds by scratching the records and playing them backwards. Flash's sound influenced a new generation, and in 1979, the Sugar Hill Gang released Rapper's Delight, the first ever rap song to be played on commercial radio. Next came bands like Run DMC, who borrowed elements from rock music, and Public Enemy, who replaced scratching with sampling, introducing strong social and political messaging from the black community into their music. This developed into gangster rap in the 1990s with groups like NWA and rappers like Snoop Doggy Dogg and Tupac. And the rest is history. Today, rap music is one of the most popular genres of music, with approximately 26% of music listeners worldwide listening to rap and hip-hop. Now, do you like Easter eggs? Well, a 32-year-old man from Australia loved them so much that he stole nearly $65,000 worth of Cadbury cream eggs. That's 200,000 eggs. He's been sent to jail for a year and he will spend half the time in prison and the other half will see him on probation. Well, that's us for this week. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you again next week for more In Case You Missed It. Have a great weekend. Hei kona.
This podcast was made with funding from the Public Interest Journalism Fund.